Hey guys, I'm looking at grade 4 group A piece, Spain it's called, and it's a Chick Corea, Jacqueline Rodrigo piece, and it's arranged by Clark Tracy. A Latin piece using a Samba pattern on the feet, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't touch off Samba when I was learning the drums. First time I was introduced to it was about 6 or 7 years ago. I tried it and I sucked at it because I'd done very little drumming with my left foot, other than like opening the hi-hat every now and then. I didn't really play with it. It wasn't. I didn't put patterns on the left foot, so I didn't have great four-way independence, which basically means that each limb can be independent of each other. Like my right and left hand, they could play the drums. My right foot, that was a drummer, but my left foot was never a drummer. And when I tried the Samba pattern, I sucked at it, and then I quit because I didn't like sucking. So when it came to doing this piece, it was a huge challenge because it's fast, and the time signature is 4/4, but the tempo on it is a minimum equals 120 BPM, and most tempos would be a crotchet equals and a number. So that basically means that it's going to beep for 1 and it's going to beep for 3. It's not going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's 120. So if you're talking about crotchets, if you want 4 beeps per bar, you have to set that metronome to 240 BPM, which is like blisteringly fast. So talking down through this, it's a very fast piece. Don't let the speed affect you negatively. And ignore the speed. Make it about the patterns, get them right slow, and then speed can be tackled as a separate issue. Once you're able to play them slow confidently, then you can speed up. And if you try and involve speed while you're learning the pattern, that's where most people fall down. Okay, so try and take my own advice on this. It starts off with a snare drum pattern. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Now, the and of 4 of the first bars is tied to the 1 in the next bar, so that's why I didn't play that one. And the and of the 2 is tied to the 3, that's why I didn't play that 3. So if you don't really understand how ties work, the 2 notes that are tied together, the first one gets played and the value of the last one is added into it. So you add those 2 note values together, you don't play the second one. Okay, in bar 3 you've got a bass drum, snare drum, and right cymbal pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, as I said already, that's way slower than you'll see in the performance of the video, but that is the pattern, and the counting's important. Here comes the Samba part. So you've got the Samba pattern on the feet, you're following that Samba pattern with the right hand on the right, and you're hitting the snare on the 3. Okay, so it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that pattern is played 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14, but it's very fast, so those 8 bars, they shoot by. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get good with that pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Get comfortable with it, and right. Get comfortable with that. Then I need to stay on 3. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you have that from 7 all the way down to 14. And then we start kind of an interval 4 bars. It goes bass drum and crash 1, rest on 2, snare on 3, and bass drum on 4. And then again bass and crash 1, rest on 2, snare on 3, and rest on 4. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, there's no bass drum on that 4, that was my mistake. And then we have our bass drum and our right cymbal going 1, 2, and 3, and then 4. 1, 3, 4. Okay? So that's 15, 16, 17, and 18. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now we're into B section. And B section is a pattern between the snare and the bass drum. But what you'll notice is the bass drum is consistent. It's on 1 and it's on 3 for each bar. 1, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So, our snare goes 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. Okay, that is slow, but it has to be that slow. Keeping it steady like that, maybe stick on a metronome. Let me just grab my phone quick. Okay, I got my phone. So, basically, you want to set your metronome to the tempo that you successfully played it at and work on that tempo. So, I think I was like 1, 2, 3, 4. 65 is what I got there. So, if I just turn this on, use whatever metronome. I'm using Pro Metronome, it's free. So 1, 2, 3. It's going to sound painfully slow, but it gives you a true tempo of the piece, and you're able to hear it. So it's 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4. That's 19, 20, 21, and 22 at that slow tempo. And keep it at that tempo. And then we've got the next line, which is 23, 24, 25, 26. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, and 2, 3, and 4. And that's the end of that line. And again, work on it and keep it that slow. Then you got 26, 27, and 28 to finish out the section. So you go 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and rest 3, rest 4. Okay, that's the section, and that's very, very fast when played with the track. So work on it, keep it slow, and build it up from there. That's all you can do. But the amount of time people spend on forcing themselves to go faster than they should be is a huge problem, I think. If you spend a little more time taking it easy and getting the pattern a little bit memorized, burned into your brain a little bit, then that will pay dividends when you try and speed up. Okay, so the next section is bass drum, snare drum, and crash. No, it's a ride. It's just a minim ride. Has a circle around it, but it's on the right line. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you got a 2-beat note, 1, 2, and then 3, 4. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. Do what you want for those 2 bars. I just keep it simple on the ride. And then we got a repeat back to the start. So right back to the start. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, count to that. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then down to 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. 8. 9, all the way through 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, then 15, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, rest 3, rest 4. So it's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So the tempo on 29 got me there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's 29 phrase 2, which is the same tempo that you had on the first 29, but you go straight into it on 33. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is exactly the same that we had on 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, except this is going for 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24 bars. So it's a doozy. It's also giving kind of pulses on the 1 and 4. Ba, 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 as you're playing out. 1, 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's fast, and that was my hardest pattern because I had to keep that going constantly for that section, and it's a huge long section. And a little additional to work on as well is near the end on bar 53, you've got an accent on the crash on the 4. So you go 1, 3. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So 1. That little crash, it's a doozy to try and stick in there, especially when you're struggling with it in the first place. I'll just keep it off the cymbals for a second for volume, or keep it off the right for a second. Or maybe I'll just do bell. Bell is probably best. 1, 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Go again. 50, 53. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that, getting that in at speed. I kept missing it. I kept messing it up, but we do that, and it's the song is actually quite nice to listen to as you play along with it. You get to the end of that line, 53, 54, 55, 56, and we get a DS al coda. Des sign, go back to sign, al coda, and play onto the coda. So that brings you in on the B section. That's snare and kick pattern. 1, 2 and 3, 4, and 1, 2 and 3, 4, and 2 and 3, 4, and 1 and 2 and 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 2 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 1, 2 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and rest, and that brings us to coda, which is the last bar, 57. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So the reason this tutorial video has been so bitty is because I'm just about able to play this with the backing track. It's a tough piece for me. It's something I never worked on. I spent a week working on this piece so I could do it for you, and for me, because like burying my head in the sand for the last 6 or 7 years on Samba was a chicken move, and I wanted to kind of clean that up for myself. And I'm happy that I got through it, and it makes a lot more sense to me. The value of it is there. This is, I think, one of the harder pieces on grade 4, and as a result, a lot of people may not choose it. It's so fast. The level is way up there. Some people might choose it because it's hard. You know, they like the challenge. But whoever decides to do this, fair play to you for trying it, and hope it all goes well. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully this video was beneficial. I'll be back next week, hopefully, or whenever I get around to it, with the next piece from grade 4, so look for that. Every piece before grade 4, from initial all the way up to here, is in playlists. I've done them all, so I'm doing them chronologically, so look for those. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time I turn on a camera. Chat soon.